The training grounds of the Galactic Military Academy were loud with laughter that day. The air smelled of dust and metal, and the ground shook with the roars of creatures in giant cages. The reason for the laughter? A small human girl had just stepped onto the field. Private Hana Kim stood there, looking very out of place. She was short, only 5 feet and 3 inches, and thin, maybe 120 pounds at most. Around her were huge cadets from many alien worlds. Some had claws. Some had scales. Some had long teeth. All of them were bigger than her. They wore battle armor and had faces full of pride and strength. One cadet, Du-Haeon, laughed the loudest. His body was covered in thick green scales. His yellow eyes shone with amusement as he pointed at Hana. "Is this a joke? She wants to be a beast handler. She looks like food for these monsters." Other cadets joined in the laughter. Even the instructors smirked. No one thought. A small human like Hana belonged in the beast handling division. This was where the best fighters learned to work with apex predators, the deadliest creatures in the galaxy. Hana? She didn't even have claws or fangs. From the side of the field, Commander Rockjin walked out. He was a crothy warrior with 4 strong arms and a face full of scars. His voice was like thunder. "Enough," he shouted. The laughter stopped. All eyes turned to him. R.O. Kajin looked at Hana and the other recruits. His face was hard. "These creatures are not pets. They are weapons. They are apex predators from death worlds. Your job is not to play with them. Your job is to control them. If you can't, you will be removed from this program. Understood?" "Yes, Commander." The recruits answered. Behind Rockjin, the enclosures lined the field like giant steel cages. The air hummed with the energy barriers that kept the beasts locked inside. A razor beast paced back and forth. It had 6 legs, sharp like blades, and 6 glowing red eyes. A pair of Nexus hunters hung upside down in their cage, their black wings folded. Scorpion wolves howled softly behind their bars. At the far end was the largest cage of all. Inside it, a Vortok dreadmaw rested. 30 feet long, all muscle and teeth, our occasion spoke again. "We begin with feeding the razor beast. Let's see who is brave enough." One by one, cadets stepped forward. They picked up chunks of meat and tried to throw them into the razor beast's cage. But every time they got close, the beast lunged at the barrier. The cadets jumped back in fear. Even Du-Haeon, after his laughter, couldn't get closer than 10 feet. Rockjin looked at Hana. His voice was full of doubt. "Private Kim, your turn." The other recruit smirked. Surely this was the end of the little human's pride. But Hana did not pick up any meat. She did not move toward the cage. Instead, she did something no one expected. She sat down. Right there on the ground, cross-legged, about 20 feet from the cage. She didn't look scared. She didn't speak. She just watched the razor beast with calm, steady eyes. "What are you doing?" Rockjin barked. "Get up." But Hana stayed where she was. "Waiting," she said simply. The laughter started again, but it died quickly. Something strange was happening. The razor beast, who had lunged at all the other cadets, stopped moving. Its red eyes stared at Hana. It sniffed the air, tilted its head as if confused. Minutes passed. Then the razor beast slowly sat down, its sharp legs folding under its body. The field went silent. No one had ever seen this before. Hana reached into her pocket. She pulled out a small piece of her lunch, a bit of cooked meat. She took a bite, then gently tossed a piece near the cage. Not at the razor beast, but to the side. The beast could choose to take it or not. The razor beast crept forward. It sniffed the meat, grabbed it, and ate. Du-Haeon whispered, "Impossible." But Hana wasn't finished. She did the same with the Nexus hunters. She clicked her tongue, copying the sounds they made. The black-winged killers flew down from their perch, curious. She fed the scorpion wolves near their pups, and they let her. Finally, she walked to the Dreadma's cage. "Don't," Rockjin warned. No one has ever but Hana gently pressed her hand against the barrier. The Dreadmaw opened its huge mouth. Everyone braced for it to strike. But it didn't. It moved forward, slow and careful. And then it pressed its massive snout to the barrier. Right where Hana's hand was, the great beast let out a low sound, not a growl, but something softer. Like a purr. Hana stood and looked at the others. Her voice was clear and strong now. You try to control them with fear, but that's not the only way. Earth is a death world too. We didn't just survive by fighting. We made friends with our predators. Wolves, horses, orcas. We didn't rule them by fear. We earned their trust. She looked at Duhayan. The scariest creatures? They can be our strongest friends. And on that day, the galaxy's laughter at humans began to fade. The news of what Private Hana Kim did spread quickly through the Galactic Military Academy. Recruits whispered about the small human who made the razor beast sit like a puppy, talked about the Nexus hunters who landed beside her, and the giant Dreadma that purred at her hand. The laughter that once filled the academy was now replaced by quiet respect and fear. Soon, Commander Rockjan made Hana the new leader of the Beast Handling Division. Many recruits were shocked. They'd never seen a human lead aliens from so many powerful worlds. But Rockjan knew no one else could do what Hana did. Every morning, the cadets lined up in front of her. Among them stood Duhayan, now quiet and serious. He remembered his laughter and felt ashamed. He watched Hana as she stood in front of the cages with her head held high. "Today," Hana said, her voice calm but strong, "we will not just feed the beasts. We will work together with them." The cadets looked nervous. The razor beast growled. The Nexus hunters flapped their wings. The scorpion wolves howled. The Dreadma's tail slammed the ground, shaking the air. But Hana was not afraid. She stepped forward with slow, careful movements. She raised her hand and gave a small signal. The razor beast moved first, walking beside her. It did not attack. It did not roar. It listened. "Now you," she said, looking at the other cadets. "You must stop thinking these creatures are monsters. They are partners." The cadets tried. Some moved too fast, and the beasts hissed. Some shouted, and the beasts backed away. But Hana showed them again and again how to stay calm, how to watch, and how to wait. Soon, even Duhayan managed to walk. Next to a scorpion wolf pup, without fear, days turned into weeks. The cadets changed. They no longer tried to scare the beasts. They learned to earn their trust. The beasts changed too. They stopped seeing the cadets as enemies. They started watching Hana, waiting for her signs. Then, one morning, an alarm blared across the academy. Red lights flashed. Sirens screamed. The academy was under attack. Rogor drones crashed through the walls, firing bright beams of energy. Someone had sabotaged the academy's defense systems. Commander Rockjan ran onto the field. His voice roared above the chaos. "What? We need the beasts. Hana, take charge." Hana did not hesitate. She turned to the beasts, her eyes clear and fearless. "Razor Beast," she called. The creature roared and ran to her side. "Nexus hunters," she shouted. The black-winged killers took off into the air, circling above, scorpion wolves. She yelled. The pack gathered around her, their tails raised and ready. Finally, she looked at the dread. "Come." The massive beast slammed its body into the charging war drones, smashing them with one swipe. Energy blasts bounced off its thick hide. Nexus hunters swooped down, tearing drones from the sky. Scorpion wolves leaped onto metal enemies, biting and clawing. The razor beast moved like a shadow, striking with deadly speed. The cadets watched in awe. Duhayan stood frozen. Hana's voice reached him even through the noise. "Duhayan, take the scorpion wolves to the east gate. Protect the wounded." Duhayan obeyed. He led the beasts without fear. Other cadets followed Hana's commands. Soon, the academy's field turned into a battlefield of fire, smoke, and metal. But the beasts and their human leader held the line. Hana moved through the chaos with calm eyes and steady steps. She gave quiet signals, and the beasts responded instantly. They were not wild anymore. They were a team. When the last drone exploded, the field fell silent. Smoke rose into the sky. Bodies of broken machines lay scattered. Everywhere, the cadets cheered. The beasts howled in victory. The Dreadma let out a deep rumble, like a giant cat happy after a hunt. Commander Rockjan stepped forward. His face was tired but proud. "You saved us, Private Kim," he said, his voice soft for the first time. "You saved everyone." Hana looked at the beasts. who now stood calmly beside her. She smiled. I didn't save us alone. They did it with me. Duhayan walked up, breathing hard, his face full of respect. How did you know this would work, Hana? He asked. Hana knelt next to the razor beast, scratching it gently behind the ear. The beast let out a purr that made everyone stare. Looked up at Duhayan and spoke so everyone could hear. Because every human child grows up with one truth. The monster under the bed is just lonely. If you offer respect, patience, and kindness, the scariest creatures can become your best friends. Cadets stood in silence. Some had tears in their eyes. The beasts lay down around Hana, resting like loyal dogs. The Nexus hunters folded their wings above her. The Dreadma curled its long tail protectively. From that day on, no one laughed at humans in the Galactic Military Academy again. And everywhere. Across the stars, stories spread of a small human who taught the galaxy's deadliest monsters how to be friends and taught the galaxy itself to respect the people of Earth.